The Surface Editing tool allows you to move your control vertices by one of 6 options, each providing its own unique set of constraints to help guide your motion. Your movement options are located to the right of your row and column buttons found in the feature toolbar. To move points perpendicular to the surface you're editing, use the normal movement option. Note this option references the surface you're editing and not the active work plane. For this reason, when editing surfaces already containing curvature, your CVs may move in unintended directions. As you can see in my lower left-hand view, I'm having just such an issue. Instead, I'd like to move my control vertices perpendicular to my active work plane by selecting my normal to plane movement option. Since I've selected normal to plane, my control vertices can only move normal to the active work plane. Since you can only move your control vertices in one direction, changes made here are the easiest to interpret, making this movement option the ideal selection for starting your editing. Your free movement option allows you to move your vertices parallel to your active work plane. Since my bottom 2 views here are perpendicular to my active work plane, I will not be able to move points in these views while the free movement option is selected. Now with my edges constrained here, free movement isn't really going to help me that much. However, if I add some normal definition to my surface and then use free movement, I can make some fine adjustments in the lateral directions. The long bars move option lets you move your control vertices along any of the 4 bars they're connected to. Like the free movement option, don't expect to have a lot of control over your geometry unless you've already added some normal definition to your surface. Now another point of note is, once you've started moving along a bar, you're locked into that direction until you release your left click. Don't sit there frustrated, swinging your mouse back and forth trying to figure out why you can't get along the other bars. Simply let go of the vertice and select it again to move along one of the other directions. Now your in-view move option is probably the most useful, especially if you've decided to set up show all views like I've done here. You see the in-view movement option takes whatever view you happen to be looking at your surface from and turns that into the active work plane. You can then move your CVs to anywhere in that work plane. Another cool thing is, if you decide to rotate your surface, Pro E keeps up and makes the new angle you're looking at it from the new active work plane. You probably notice your last 2 move options are followed by Shift and Alt respectively. That's because these 2 move options are selectable by hotkey. However, using these hotkeys while another move option is selected can cause your control vertice to jump around. That's because you're changing your move option, not combining it with the currently selected one. That concludes our Pro E Surface Editing Move Introduction. Join us next time when we'll be discussing your surface editing filters.